What is up, guys? Welcome. Come on in. I think we finally got the lighting right. I think we finally figured it out. Let's get the angle right here. Let's get the microphone in the right spot. There we go. Perfect. All right. So come on in. Welcome to the show. And today is going to be an awesome show. It's going to be the best one. And why? Because we said so. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the best thing out of the way. Well, first of all, we're going to talk about how horrible the facial hair is. If you're listening to the podcast, you can't see this wonderful thing I've grown, but it is rough. This is pretty, I would say, average facial hair, if not on the lower end, but we're trying. So Movember is still a thing, and I think it's for a good cause, so I like to do it each year. We're going to talk about a couple really important things, but ultimately, I want to talk about really what I'm grateful for with COVID and why I'm actually grateful for COVID. What it's caused is not good in the world. So let's also state that now. But I want to talk about how to frame COVID so that you can actually succeed out of this whole situation, because it's still not done. It's still going to exist for the next, whether it's months or whether it's year, or hopefully it caps out at that. But understanding that these limitations exist and they're going to exist for a bit. So we have to take the right actions. So moving forward from there, what I want to go into is something that makes everything better. And if you guys are watching the video, if you're on the podcast, I encourage you, because this is going to make the show even better. So if you grab your favorite drink, favorite sports drink, I consider this a sports drink because it's naturally flavored and it tastes really good and has a bunch of vitamins. And won't you join me now for the always enlightening, always exciting dopamine hit of the day, as good as scoring the winning goal in overtime to win the Stanley Cup. And yeah, that's pretty good. And all you need is water, Gatorade, or powdered greens, BioSteel protein, or anything in between. So grab your favorite sports drink and join me now for this simultaneous sip. And it happens now. Go. This one's good. Peach nectarine. I definitely do recommend these ice drinks if you're looking for trying something a little different. I think they have a little tiny bit of juice in them, but they have a bunch of like vitamins and minerals in this thing. If you guys can read that, obviously it's reversed, but down here, right there, quite a bit of good stuff. So let's talk about the purpose. Again, the purpose of this, the reason we do these long form videos, and the reason I want to keep doing what I'm doing, is because I want to start bringing more and more, and I'm already doing this, more and more honest convo to hockey, and bringing it to the world in a way that allows everyone to succeed on and off the ice, to take the things that I'm learning and to take the things that other people are learning and try to bring them together in one place. So take away the secrets. I know hockey likes to be pretty secretive, just like any high-performing sport or activity. There's a lot of people hiding things, but I want to push this convo forward. I want to talk about the culture, development, relationships, spirituality, diet, training. If you're new to this, this is what you're getting into here. And we're building a community of people, a community of players, a community of really just awesome human beings. And these are people who want to perform on and off the ice. So hopefully today you leave inspired, informed, and entertained, not entitled. That would not make a lot of sense, but I guess entitled to success. I want you to leave with an actionable system, actionable items, and ultimately a new filter on COVID. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So each episode is designed for that. It's designed to really give you a new frame and turn hockey and turn life into a game that you can win and that you love. And please leave me feedback. Please give me a rating and send me a DM. Let me know. You can subscribe to the podcast, or like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, depending on where you're watching or listening to this. And you can also just let me know what's up. Leave a comment anywhere. You can leave a review of the podcast, and everything helps. So let's get into the real stuff. But first, I need another sip because I'm pretty thirsty. And you'll probably understand why once we talk about what I've been doing for the past while. So to begin, what is happening in the world? Well, I know about 2 weeks ago, I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked about the fact that there was a lot of limitations. There's a lot of stuff shut down. Now, I was thinking that things were starting to head in a more open direction. Things were starting to open up a bit more, but it looks like that's not the case. What appears to be happening is it looks like we're having more shutdowns. Looks like people are going to be a little bit more sad about that. There's going to be more uncertainty. But what you need to do is you need to create certainty in what you can control. And this is ignored a lot. We have to learn how to start creating certainty in the things that we can actually control. And the things we control are the actions we're taking on a daily basis. And this may not lead to massive changes in what we can and can't do, whether we can skate or not, whether we're allowed to go out to stores or restaurants or whatever that is. But there are things that we can do to develop in whatever areas we're trying to develop in. And if you're listening to this and that's not what you're trying to do, then I hope that you figured out by now that this isn't the place for you to be. This entire ecosystem is built around finding things that help us improve and have a higher quality of life, perform better and everything. So that's the purpose here. So let's get into why am I grateful for COVID, given the fact that there's more uncertainty? That's because I am now certain on some things that I can do, things that previously I couldn't do. And these are things that really, the way I'm framing it and the way I recommend you frame it is as a special opportunity. And it's a special opportunity that's hiding right in front of us. And here's the thing. There's usually no way in any other situation besides some kind of like pandemic that we're all going to have chunks of time away from hockey. So if you're still experiencing more of a restriction from hockey, then you're in the same boat as me. And this is an unprecedented time. Never in my career have I been fully healthy, so let's not any injuries, but also had tons of time to work on really anything I want. And with kind of great power comes great responsibility, as the Spider-Man quote says. It's important to understand that this is a massive opportunity. You may never get another chunk of time like this. This is one of the rare and possibly only time that you are going to be able to spend like months, maybe even like a full year or more, just training exactly how you want. And this is what you need to do. Listen to this part. You need to do two things. You need to focus on your weaknesses. You need to establish what those are, and you need to build them. You need to build them up. Because if you don't, first of all, they're going to just get worse. And this is the opportunity to work on them. Whatever it is, whether it's strength, whether it's speed, whether it's conditioning, whether it's skills, whatever it is, you can work on that. You can find ways. So take advantage and spend that extra time now, because this is a rare time you get to do that. Hopefully this turns into basically a motivational talk in that sense, but not just that, but giving you the actionable steps, which is, again, focus, establish the weaknesses, focus on them, and then build your strengths, the things that you're already good at. Spend extra time on those. Split your extra time whenever you're trying to decide what to do and you're not sure. Work on those two things. If you build up your strengths and your strengths become even better, it's just going to make you stand out, and it's going to make those things stand out more when you're playing. This is something we talk about a ton in the Identity 2.0 group. And trust me when I say this, you do not want to miss out on this opportunity. So the next thing is, you're probably asking, what am I doing? What am I trying to do and focus on? Well, there's 3 core things that I'm trying to do. That is, and also I guess technically 4. I actually am going to write 4 down, the 4th one down, because I can't believe I missed this. And they are train my mind. So this means improving on my focus, improving on the confidence, positive emotions, positive thought habits, and really programming my entire player identity, just completely reshaping that. Then 2, building my hockey sense arsenal. This means actually going through using several different techniques to actually work on deepening my hockey sense and tying that to my identity. Again, this is what we work on in Identity 2.0. The links are always below if you guys want to check that stuff out. And then the third thing is get jacked and strong. Now, this is something that I have never gotten to do before. This is the cool opportunity that I was talking about, why I'm needing water and feeling kind of out of it sometimes, is because I'm training very hard. This is the first time in my life that I'm actually getting stronger, significantly stronger. And I've broken the 300-pound mark in several lifts now. And that's something that I felt was kind of frustrating for me. I knew that I always had that capacity to be physically very pound for pound strong. I'm about 172, 73 pounds. And I was only probably squatting like 250 before. And now I'm starting to move past 300 and pushing past that. And that's exciting. And that's exciting, I think, for anybody who's not playing right now. Like it's crazy. I don't think you'll ever have an opportunity to spend basically, for me, I'm looking at approximately like a year and a bit of time that I can train and just get as strong, as powerful, and put on solid muscle while also maintaining the fourth thing, which is speed, and then also maintaining skills. The thing that a lot of people get worried about, and this was a thing that happened in basketball before, is everyone was fearful that if you got too strong and too much muscle, that it would throw off your skill game. And basketball is super focused on skill and precision, and they feared that it would mess up their shooting. But Michael Jordan was one of the big guys that really broke through that window and showed that if you properly train your skills and you keep developing those skills at the same time that you put on strength, put on muscle, it won't have any negative impact. The only thing that can happen, well, if you're doing it properly, is you're going to get way stronger. You're going to have better injury prevention, and you're going to have just more capacity to do things. This is why if you look at all the Division I NCAA teams, you're seeing more and more players who are coming out NHL ready. And a big factor with that, one, is obviously age, but 2 is the fact that these guys are physically fit. They're fit to play. And this is being really strong, being very muscular, and really just having the tools all put together. Because once you hit a certain point with your skill set, you're working on the mental aspects, you kind of have limitations to what the body can do. And that's where the strength training comes in. Now, if your goal is to focus on skills, you should definitely do that if that's something that is lacking or you think you just want to bump those up. But don't neglect the strength and the speed aspect. Getting really, really fast, getting really, really strong, or having an extra 5-10 pounds of muscle is massive, and it's really, really freaking hard to do. Like, understand, it is insanely frustrating for me. I mean, maybe some people are a little different, but I know a lot of hockey players that find it super hard to put on good muscle. In the off season, you don't have very much time. You don't have that much time. You have let's say it's a max of like 4, 5, 6 months, and that's it. When you're talking about a full year, what you can do is you can progress that off season like you would have in the last summer, but now, not just that, you now have an entire extra, the season time we have now and the next off season. And you can utilize that to get super, super powerful, super strong, and become just a freak athlete. So that now the next thing you got to do is just keep tweaking the skills. Once you get back on the ice, or if you're already on the ice, then you just keep working on those things. And this is massive. Look at any other sport. If you're a hockey player, take a little look. Just Google around and look at NFL training. Look at any kind of like contact sport that's not hockey. And what you're going to see is these guys are putting in tons of time to their their body so that their body can compete. And obviously hockey is a skill sport, and it requires a lot of fine motor skills. But take advantage, and my approach is to train very similarly to basically a running back, because if you can put on, for me, my goal is to put on approximately about 10 to 11 to 12 pounds. So I went from about 165-ish to looking to do about 175, maybe a little bit heavier, but also working on speed very consistently, and then also working on conditioning and putting on that quality size while also having the other aspects. If you can do that, that's huge. I think I lost my train of thought on the other part that I was saying. Oh, yes. But referring to basically like running backs or football players, you're talking about respecting the fact that your body has an ability to get really strong. And if you have that exercise, it's just an extra benefit. So put in that time. And if you're a younger player, keep in mind that you need to go to an actual trainer and talk to them. If you neglect to do that and you start pushing and trying to do 1 rep maxes way too early, and you're doing things that are risky, you can actually really hurt yourself. Also, if you're doing things that are not proper executions of the lift, that can be a massive hindrance as well. So keep that in mind. Need another drink here. Really, really, really keep that in mind. But utilize this time. So finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about, I like to just touch on some core things. And the final one is how to balance school, work, and training together, and also your social life. So you have a few things that you need to be spending a lot of time in. And that is, you want to first look at school, you want to look at work, you want to look at training, you want to look at friends, and how to develop all these things together. How can you put consistent time into all these things and succeed at them? Because oftentimes it's easy to spend time on a couple of them and then make a mistake of kind of forgetting about other things. So maybe you put a ton of time into, whether it's social life, maybe you spend a ton of time trying to hang out with your friends, but then you miss out on the work aspect. Maybe you're not making enough money, or maybe you're spending a ton of time with schoolwork, but you're missing out on your training and you're not doing any work. And then the only extra time you have, you can spend with friends. So what you need to do is understand, okay, what do I actually prioritize out of these things? And you need to establish this on a weekly basis. This may shift. Certain times may require more focus on school. Certain times may focus more on needing money so that you can focus on the training on other weeks. Maybe your focus is completely on training and you need to back off on the other things. But you have to take the time to establish what is important in these 4 elements. And there's also going to be other kind of micro aspects of life that you want to break these into subsets, but these are kind of the 4 things. So again, you want to prioritize. Then once you prioritize what matters on a week-to-week basis, this means sitting down on one day, spending usually spending about half an hour, and setting specific goals for the week. And then also setting long-term goals. So if we're talking about training, setting actual weight goals that you want to hit. And then because you've prioritized and because your goals are based on those priorities, now all you need to do is build some form of a checklist system. And this is why I always have this basically right in the middle of my room. And this is a super, super easy way to do it. And if you want to learn how to do it properly and follow it and have that accountability, again, that's why we have a group that we work together. But building that and building it each week, I spend time writing it down by hand, mainly because I don't have a printer. I would print off my actual PDF if I could. But because I have that opportunity, it makes every day so easy, because now that I know what I want to do for the whole week, I have a whole set of all the things. I know that these are goals that are based on my priorities. I just plan each day. I put all the tasks in. Anytime a new task comes up, I just add it. I add it to my checklist, and it's all set. And then I can move forward, and there's no real resistance or restriction. So you can try that system out. If you have questions about how to properly set that up, just leave a comment or send me a message, and I'll be happy to really respond and kind of help with that. So thank you for watching, guys. I want to wrap this up and make sure we're not just babbling on about nothing. If there's certain topics that you want me to talk about and want me to cover, let me know. I'm excited to continue to expand and talk about and discuss more things. But from here, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Obviously, if you're interested and you want to see the next videos, definitely hit the subscribe so that you're actually going to see the stuff pop up, so that you're not just relying on your feed to hopefully pop these up. And hope they have a great week. I will see you again on Tuesday, and I will talk to you soon.